Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Wilde and this is the first in a series of instructional videos intended to teach you how to be a drag king. If you're interested in trying drag once or dressing up for a party or something like that, you may want to skip ahead to some of the later videos in the series, which are going to cover technical things like binding, doing your body hair, your facial hair, stuff like this. I'm intending this video series for people who want to start doing drag as a career, right? Who want to develop a persona and do drag on a regular basis. And if you want to do that, you need to start at the beginning. So the topic of this first video is developing your drag persona. Before I talk about that, I wanted to introduce myself a little bit. As I said, my name is Wilde. I've been doing drag here in St. Louis for about 3.5 years, something like that, and I hold two titles. I was Mr. Novak's 2006 and the St. Louis King of Pride for 2007. If you're interested in seeing more of my stuff, you can check out my MySpace page. I have a lot of pictures. And on my YouTube page, I have links to a bunch of videos from different venues of me performing in St. Louis. Okay, so on to the topic for today's video, which is developing your drag persona. Okay, when I started doing drag with my brother, Sugarcane, one of my very best friends in the world, one of the first questions we asked ourselves was, if we were guys, what kind of guys would we be, right? If you were a guy, what kind of guy would you be? And I think you can come at this from kind of two different directions, okay? So first off, if you had been born a guy, right? If you had been born a guy, what kind of guy do you think you would have become, okay? And you can take this different ways. So personality-wise, you know, with your beliefs, with the way you look, right? This plays a lot into the way you look and the way your facial hair comes in and stuff like that. If you had been born a guy, how do you think you would have been? What would your body have been like? What would your personality have been like? Would your hobbies have been any different? You know, do you think you would have done things any differently, or would you be very similar to the way you are now? Or would maybe the personality traits that you have now be expressed in a different way? The other way you can kind of come at this is to say, you know, if I just woke up tomorrow, poof, and I'm a guy, what kind of guy would I be, right? Would I be the same kind of guy? Would I be the same as I am now, or would there be some things about me that are different, or would I express some things about myself differently? And this is really different for every different performer, okay? I think there's a lot of people who do drag who are very much the same on stage as they are off, right? They may wear a lot of the same clothes that they wear in their everyday lives. They may perform music that they really like to listen to on a regular basis. And then there's some kind of people who do totally different music that they don't listen to a whole lot, you know, in their everyday lives. They may have a totally different wardrobe, you know, a room dedicated to their drag career, of clothes that they don't wear on a regular basis for different reasons. So I think everybody's drag persona bears a different relationship to how they see themselves off stage. But I think all drag performers have one thing in common, which is that they're creating, in a sense, a persona for the stage because they're all entertainers, right? Drag is principally about entertainment. Um, it's about expressing yourself, and if you don't express yourself, then you won't be entertaining. But in a way, you're also putting yourself on for the stage, okay? My girlfriend once told me that acting is being yourself under different circumstances, right? So this kind of comes back to the question of, if I was a guy, a different circumstance, how would I be? And the way I like to kind of answer that question is to think of myself as a type of guy, but not a stereotype, okay? So I wager that everybody probably thinks of themselves as a type of person, okay? So you might say, I'm an outdoorsy type of person. I'm a liberal type of person. I'm the type of person who's interested in politics. I'm the type of person who hates to read. I'm the type of person who loves to play sports every weekend. You know, you're a type of person based on what you believe, what you do, these sorts of things, okay? But I don't think that we think of ourselves as stereotypes, okay? That's the same way with your drag persona. You kind of think of yourself as a type of guy, okay? So maybe you're a really, you know, friendly type of guy. You're a nice type of guy. Maybe you're a really hardcore type of guy, and you kind of, there's some distance there between you and your audience, okay? Maybe you're, you know, a gay guy. Maybe you're a straight guy. There's some different types that you can be, but I think that you should never fall into being a stereotype, okay? And I think you should also be careful to never fall into doing one kind of music all the time, because that sort of makes you a stereotype, right? You got to do music that you care about. You got to dress in ways that you find attractive or sexy or appropriate for the stage or whatever, but you can't fall into just doing that all the time, right? You can't be a stereotype where every time you get on stage, people know exactly what you're going to do, or every time you get on stage, you're acting exactly as you do in everyday life, because that may not always be entertaining. You need to be flexible, right? So your drag persona needs to be well developed as a character. You need to have a personality, a history, a life there, right? And it has to bear some resemblance to your life, because if you're not being yourself on stage, don't get on stage, you know? You have to be yourself when you do drag. This is one of the very most important things about doing drag, is being yourself on stage so that you can entertain and connect with your audience. Because what your audience is there to see is you being yourself. You enjoying yourself is going to entertain them. And when you do that, you're expressing different sides of your personality, right? You are a lot of different types, okay? You're not a stereotype. Your personality is multifaceted, and I think your drag persona also needs to be multifaceted. Otherwise, it's not really going to be that entertaining, or it's not going to be entertaining for a long period of time. And this can reflect itself in the clothes you choose, in the type of music you choose, in the type of dancing you do, right? So in how you dance, do you change the way that you move on stage for different types of music? This is going to keep your performance really interesting for your audience. But at the same time, you have to do things that really are you, that you really care about. Because if you're trying to do some kind of music that you really hate, it's probably not going to go over that well, because your audience is going to know that this is something that's really outside of you, that you don't consider part of your persona, right, in a way. And they're going to feel that, and they're going to feel alienated by it. So I guess the things that I would want you to take away to start thinking about your drag persona are to think of what type of guy you are, right? What type of guy you are, and to be flexible in that. Okay? And this is something that's going to evolve over time. So as you do drag more and more, you're going to realize things about yourself, and you don't need to go in with a drag persona all ready and set on day one. You need to let your drag persona evolve. And this also in some sense has to do with how your audience responds to you, and what kind of bar you're performing in, or what kind of venue you're in, because different places, you're going to have different kinds of audience who are going to expect different things from you. And so sometimes you have to be somebody different when you go to that place, because you know what your audience in that bar is going to be like. And so you need to project a different side of yourself in order to make those people have a good time, you know? I guess that's really what I've got for you today. So good luck on developing your drag persona. And when I'm putting together these videos, remember that everybody does drag differently, okay? So the way that I have learned to do drag is different from the next guy, and I'm not meaning these videos to be a be-all, end-all. In fact, I would really love to have a discussion about these things in the comments section if you have any ideas for things that I've left out. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos in this series on the technical aspects of doing drag, as well as some more theoretical and abstract ideas on how to do drag. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. Thanks.